Hello, this is Newslive on Viewer Television. I am Malik. We begin with the headlines. President Muhammad Buhari inaugurates Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission. Independent National Electoral Commission raises fears, says 45% of permanent voter cards invalid. Plus, Shanghai promises punishment for COVID-19 lockdown violators. Now, President Muhammad Buhari has, in Abuja, administered the oath of office to new commissioners of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the National Population Commission. Now, Buhari sworn in the 10 commissioners, who were confirmed by the Senate in March shortly before the weekly virtual Federal Executive Council meeting held at the council chambers of the Presidential Villa Abuja. Now, shortly after, the President proceeded into the agenda of the weekly FEC meeting. Those who physically attended the meeting include Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Secretary to the Government of the Federation Boss Mustafa, and Chief of Staff to the President Professor Ibrahim Gambari, and National Security Advisor Babangana Mugono. Now, moving over to oil benchmark, the Nigerian Senate has received a request from President Muhammad Buhari to approve adjustment to the 2022 fiscal document to reflect an upward review of the oil benchmark. Now, the request was contained in a letter read during plenary by President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan. The report.
President Muhammad Buhari in the letter explained that an adjustment to the 2022 fiscal framework became imperative in view of the new development in both global and domestic economies. The president noted that since the Russian-Ukrainian war is already taking its toll on the international crude oil price, there is need to adjust the fiscal document. He therefore requested the upper chamber to approve an increase of oil benchmark from $62 per barrel to $73 per barrel. He also asked for an increase in the estimated provision for petroleum subsidy for 2022 from 442.72 billion naira to 4 trillion naira.
Decision to suspend the removal of petroleum metal spirit PMS subsidy at a time when high crude oil prices have elevated the subsidy cost has significantly eroded government revenues. There is also the need to make adequate provisions for the recent enhancements of allowances for officers and men of the Nigeria Police Force to boost their morale as they grapple with heightened security challenges in the country. Following these developments, it has become necessary to adjust the fiscal framework and accordingly amend the 2022 Appropriation Act to ensure its successful implementation. The adjustments to the 2022 fiscal framework include A, an increase in the oil price benchmark by $11 per barrel from $62 per barrel to $73 per barrel. B, a reduction in the projected oil production volume by 283,000 barrels per day, from 1.883 million barrels per day to 1.6 million barrels per day. C, an increase in the estimated provision for PMS subsidy for 2022 by 3.557 trillion naira, from 442.72 billion naira to 4 trillion naira. D, a cut in the provision for federally funded upstream projects being implemented by 200 billion naira from 352.8 billion naira to 152.80 billion naira. E, an increase in the projection for federal government independent revenue by 400 billion naira. And F, an additional provision of 182.45 billion naira to cater for the needs of the Nigerian Police Force. Based on the above adjustments, the Federation account main pool revenue for the three tiers of government is projected to decline by 2.418 trillion naira, while federal government share from the account net of transfer to the Federal Capital Territory and other statutory deductions is projected to reduce by 1.173 trillion naira. However, the amount available to fund the federal government budget is projected to decline by 772.91 billion naira due to the increase in the projection for independent revenue operating surplus remittance by 400 billion naira.
President Buhari also asked for an over 60% cut in the upstream project from 352 billion naira to 152 billion naira.
Now, the controversies on whether or not peace corps should be established to complement neighborhood watch is put to rest as the Nigerian Senate passed the Nigerian Peace Corps Bill 2020. Now, the passage of the bill sponsored by Ali Udume Borno South followed the consideration of a report by the Committee on Interior. Now, the report.
Senator Suleiman Sadiq, on behalf of the committee chairman Kashim Shettima, said the panel consolidated the Nigerian Peace Corps Bill and the National Unity Corps Bill into one for easy implementation. He explained that the Corps will, among other things, be responsible for training youths to advance the cause of peace building and conflict resolution through peace education and mediation in the country.
The bill was given legislative support and it will be of great benefit to Nigerian youths, as many of them will be gainfully employed through the establishment of the Corps. Majority of the stakeholders and the general public support the passage of the Nigerian Peace Corps Bill into law, and in view of the enormous benefit it will have on the Nigerian youth. There is a need to develop comprehensive, multi-sectoral, multi-stakeholder, and inclusive approaches in order to stem the trend of youth restlessness, which portend dangerous trend towards insecurity in the country.
A bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Peace Corps to facilitate peace, volunteerism, community services, neighborhood watch, and nation building, and for related matters 2022 third reading taken, and this bill is also passed.
The National Commandant of the Peace Corps, Dixon Ako, reacting to the passage of the bill, said the National Assembly had further demonstrated its commitment to youth engagement to check restiveness by creating a platform where they could contribute their quota to the development of Nigeria.
So we are happy with the passage of the bill, and I want to tell you it has boosted our morale, and for Peace Corps of Nigeria nationwide, we have shown our resilience that in the last 5 years, we have been waiting patiently for the bill to be redone. And today we are happy that the Senate particularly has seen the reason and has demonstrated that they are concerned with the plight of Nigerians, especially the unemployed youth.
The bill is to be sent to the House of Representatives for concurrency before it is submitted to President Muhammadu Buhari for assent.
The national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Abdullahi Adamu, on Tuesday formally resigned from the Nigerian Senate as senator representing Nasarawa West Senatorial District. Now, this was even as the newly elected deputy national chairman, Abubakar Kyari, also resigned as lawmaker representing Borno North District. The reports.
Senator Abdullahi Adamu and Senator Abubakar Kyari, in separate letters read by the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, on the floor of the Senate this Tuesday, said their action became necessary following the emergence as national chairman and deputy national chairman North of the ruling party APC. Senator Adamu, until his election as national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, chaired the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development. Kyari, on the other hand, was the chairman of the Committee on Federal Capital Territory.
Dr. Distinguished Senator Dr. Abdullah Adamu CON, Turakin Kefi, Chairman, Senate Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development, Nasarawa West Senatorial District. Your Excellency, letter of resignation from the 9th Senate. I would utmost respect and appreciation informing you that consequent upon my victory as national chairman at the just concluded convention of our great party, the All Progressives Congress APC, on the 26th of March 2022, I hereby formally resign as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, representing Nasarawa West Senatorial District. We have another letter of resignation. This time is from distinguished Senator Abubakar Kyari, Chairman, Senate Committee on Federal Capital Territory, representing Borno Senatorial District. Your Excellency, letter of resignation. I'm writing formally to inform Your Excellency of my resignation from the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as the Senator representing Borno Senatorial District.
Recall that Senator Abdullahi Adamu emerged as the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress at the 2022 National Convention of the party.
The House of Representatives has mandated its Committee on Federal Capital Territory to investigate and recover the alleged disappearance of 10,000 transit buses provided by the federal government for transport services within the Federal Capital Territory. Now, the resolution followed the adoption of a motion raised during plenary on Tuesday by Ikena from Imo State. Now, Ikena said these buses were provided by the government to alleviate the sufferance of citizens by easing the commuting challenges of civil and public servants to and from their offices to ensure effective discharge of their duties.
5,000 buses were provided by the government to assist and complement the efforts of the government workers in accessing various offices within the Federal Capital Territory. Further notes that between 2010 and 2014, the federal government, in a bid to effectively improve public service delivery in line with global best practices, provided an additional 5,000 buses for the transportation of civil servants. Consigned that all the buses amounting to 10,000 provided by the government are gradually disappearing from the roads and are not being effectively managed by the FCT administration, and as such, not achieving its core objective, which is alleviating the transport challenges of the masses, especially in these trying times. Also consigned that the citizens who are denied these services are daily faced with the risk of riding in commercial vehicles operated by kidnappers, armed robbers, and bandits. Cognizant of the need to recover the buses and make them operational to serve the core objective for which they are.
Now, the Minister of Interior, Benny Bosula, has said that process of issuing the Nigerian passports will be fully digitalized before the end of 2020, adding that there would be no longer the usual process of applications. Now, the Minister stated this on Tuesday during the commencement of a two-day capacity building workshop organized for passport control officers from across the country and foreign offices. He says the decision is to cut off completely any form of contact between applicants and immigration officers, which gives rise to corruption in the process. The minister also revealed that the maximum period for fresh passport applications is now 6 weeks, while passport renewal will no longer be more than 3 weeks. When Newslive returns, Supreme Court affirms 6-year jail term for ex-pension director Yakubu. Details of these and more comes to you right after the break. Just stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Ikia Matom. Being an anchor has been a tremendous experience, from editing the news to reading the news. As an anchor, you have to be objective and impartial. Sometimes you have to put on a very indifferent look, a stoic character, such that you do not display your emotions. But then the stories that we tell, from politics to the economy to insecurity to education, also affect us. And as journalists, we're also affected by stories. From the teleprompter to the lights to the camera to the action to the reading of the news, it's all a synchronization of various activities at the same time. Sometimes you have to listen to feedback, sometimes you have to stop, sometimes you have to continue. Sometimes, there are technical hitches that we can never overlook, but then you have to come up with a strategy, you have to come up with your professionalism to ensure that the audience do not even know what is happening behind the scenes, and then you just have to carry on.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Newslive on Viewer Television. Now let's take a recap of our top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurates Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission. Independent National Electoral Commission raises fears, says 45% of permanent voter cards invalid. Plus, Shanghai promises punishment for COVID-19 lockdown violators. Now, threats to the 2023 general election depend on Wednesday with the Independent National Electoral Commission raising fears that over 45% of the total number of registered voters have been found to be invalid as of January 14, 2022. The Commission, however, said 1,390,519 permanent voter cards are valid. While describing the situation as challenging, the Commission said it would continue to clean up the voters' register. The chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, said this during a press conference in Abuja, where he also raised fears about security challenges on the election. Now, the Supreme Court has affirmed the 6 years imprisonment imposed on the former Federal Director of Pensions, John Yakubu, and also ordered him to refund the sum of 22.9 billion naira to the federal government. Justice Tijani Abubakar, in a judgment in an appeal filed by Yusuf, upheld the decision of the Court of Appeal, which in 2018 sent him to 6 years imprisonment in addition to the refund of the sum. The apex court held that Yusuf and others engaging in fraudulent practices must be thought through court judgments, that it is no longer business as usual. Now, Justice Abubakar notes that this appeal of the former Federal Pension Director seeking to set aside the 6 years jail term against him was frivolous and devoid on merits. Now, NASA Strike Minister of Labor and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, says that he has little control over the current impasse between the Academic Staff Union of Universities and the federal government. Dr. Ngige made this known while receiving members of the government side of the 2009 Federal Government University-Based Unions Agreement Renegotiation Committee led by the chairman, Professor Nimi Briggs. Now, speaking against the backdrop of the ongoing strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Ngige revealed the union needed to make known their grievances to the Right Ministry to enable speedy resolution. The academics are seeking improved welfare, revitalization of public universities, and academic autonomy, among other demands. Now, the Statistician General of the Federation, Simon Harry, has passed on. Now, his death was confirmed by the Director of Communication and Public Relations Department, Ichedi Joel, on Wednesday in Abuja. Harry's death is coming barely 48 hours after the agency rebuked reports of the demise. He was said to have been indisposed on Saturday and was immediately given medical attention. Harry was appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari as the Statistician General of the Federation in August last year. On the course of his civil service career, he has contributed to several reform initiatives, including the reform of the then Federal Office of Statistics, which was transformed into the current National Bureau of Statistics. And on tackling insecurity, it is in its continued efforts aimed at boosting its recruitment drive to tackle various internal security challenges in the country. The Nigerian Air Force has commenced recruitment exercise for qualified candidates as trades and non-trades airmen, airwomen, and basic military training course 43/2022. The Director of Public Relations and Information, NAF Air Commando Edward Gimkwat, says that the online registration will end on 22nd May 2022. Now, according to him, applicants must be between the ages of 18 and 22 for non-trades men and women, and 18 and 25 years for tradesmen and women, and must possess a minimum academic qualification of 5 credits, including mathematics and English language, is not more than 2 sittings in SSCE, NECO, GCE, and NAPTEP. Applicants are to note that online registration and all other recruitment processes are free of charge and no payment